Joe likes Scorsese, and Raanan is Jewy. It's Joe and Raanan talk movies.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I got a donut in my mouth.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Yeah, how'd it go? I'll talk. You got the donut in your mouth.
I know, it's a funny gag.
All right, yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
but you're on no sleep. I'm like furious right now. I come down every day. You're like, we got to do a podcast. Come on, do the podcast. I have nothing.
Get sleep every night. Do you, I don't think you understand what it's like to just not get 8 hours.
To just choose to stay out till 5 a.m. the night before podcast. First of all, every time I see you, can we please do the podcast? I need a podcast. I have no friends. I have nothing in my career. I don't sell tickets.
I have no friends, but that's not related to this.
And then so I'm like, out of the charity of my heart, I'm like, okay, I'll do my 5th podcast that makes no money. And then the day before we're scheduled, booked solid, Jerry. You're like, hey, actually, I have a dentist appointment, a therapy appointment, a proctology appointment. I'm going to get an MRI for no reason. And I got to wash my pants. Can we do another day? I'm like, no. I have a baby and another podcast. With a partner, by the way, who's never been, I shouldn't say late, but never rescheduled, down on his energy. No, with Mark.
Oh, Mark. He's never been late?
He's been late almost every time. But just up for it, plenty of energy.
Are you saying I'm a poor man's Mark?
No, I'm saying you're a poor man's Raanan. And I get down here. You haven't watched the movie. You got shit and cum and sleet in your eye. This is crazy.
It's been
I have a baby. I'm here. I'm ready.
It's a tough week. I had a friend die, and my
Friend?
he was a good friend.
Who?
Kenny.
Kenny was a good friend of yours?
He was a friend.
I never heard you mention him.
He was a friend.
Okay. Friend Lee. Let's say you were friend
No,
Lee.
we were friends. We were friends. Rest in peace. Great guy.
Absolutely. No argument here.
One of the best. But anyway, well, here I'm excited. You know,
You haven't watched the film.
I've seen the movie before. I watched half of it, and I know Raging Bull by heart, so we can talk.
All right, we'll talk. And also, I got another bone to pick.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, last night you text, oh man, I'm dying to see Poor Things. On record, I've been trying to do a Yorgos episode. You hate it. You won't even talk about him.
Well, it's
you
weird.
hate him.
I realize I'm a huge fan.
I'm telling you, you're a huge fan.
I was like, we were talking because I guess I like talk shit about it, but I'm like, well, I mean, I was like, well, I like The Favorite a lot. And I rewatched Killing the Sacred Deer, and that's really stuck with me.
Which I've been telling you is like a brilliant movie, and you're like, I can't. I didn't like The Lobster.
I love The Lobster, so I'm like, I guess I am. But no, I don't like The Lobster, but I rewatched Killing the Sacred Deer. It does stick with you. It's an interesting movie.
It's tremendous. It's a fucking fantastic movie.
Well, you know what it does.
Have you watched Dogtooth?
No, I haven't seen Dogtooth.
That's the best one.
That's the best one?
Yes, it's
I'll
the best
see
one.
Dogtooth.
And we could pull up the record. I've said it to you 25 times, and you refuse to watch. But all of a sudden, Poor Things, you can't wait.
Well, I mean, I got Emma Stone's Bush is like second lead. I mean, I'm so excited. Whoa, what's that?
Hot.
Too hot?
Hot.
You right?
What was it? Hot? No, it's cold. Damn cold. What movie?
Dumb and Dumber, I assume. Everything you say is Dumb and Dumber or Goodfellas.
What was it? Hot? No, it's cold. Damn cold. I mean, I quote The Godfather way more often than I quote
Is it
Dumb
Dumb
and
and
Dumber.
Dumber?
No, it's Back to the
Godfather?
Future.
Oh.
Dumb and Dumber, my quoting of movies is way low. Cable Guy, I do more.
Yeah, Cable Guy. It's either Cable Guy, Goodfellas, Godfather, or Back to the Future.
There's a lot.
By the way, I was
White Man Can't
rewatching
Jump.
Back to the Future 2. It is extremely offensive that they have that woman, Elizabeth Shue. I guess we've talked about this. They just have her just passed out for the whole movie. It's like they had her in the movie and they're like, we got to get rid of her the entire time.
No, there's obviously with time travel, there's always going to be plot points. Like
just the fact that they like drug her and then throw her in the alley for the whole movie.
Yeah, the idea that he's like, she'll be fine. Well, it'll transform around her is crazy.
She must have been insulted when she read that script. She's like, I got a big part. And then on page 2, she like gets like, pew, and then she's just gone the whole time.
Yeah, but she gets to do other stuff. It's not like it's not like the actor is laying on a bench for 6 weeks. She doesn't care.
That's not how.
We're clear.
But yeah, I'm excited. I'm so excited for Poor Things. Yorgos Lanthimos.
I don't know his name.
He's my favorite director, as I've said on every podcast, and I'm very excited to see it. You know,
I watched something popped up on my Instagram from Variety. It was like directors on directors, and it's Yorgos talking to Ari Aster.
I watched it,
but the clip I saw was just Yorgo's asking Ari Aster questions, and I'm like, flip this around. Fuck Ari Aster. I want to hear from Yorgos.
They did both. I saw both. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I love hearing Ari Aster. I think he's great.
I like him fine. Bo is afraid. Ugh.
Yeah, but Midsommar is like one of the greatest movies ever. You're not, you're not a big Midsommar fan?
No, I got to rewatch, I guess. Greatest movie ever is retarded.
Well,
in fact, we're here to talk about two of the greatest movies ever that you have some of the dumbest beefs I've ever heard in my life. This is going to be our most contentious episode, not just because you stayed up till 5 a.m. and haven't finished the movie.
Yeah, well, this is going to be contentious. But before we begin, Baltimore Christmas Eve, come out. Can I plug real quick?
Christmas Eve, yeah, that'll be packed out. Christmas Eve, who's your agent? Fucking Mickey from Rocky? Christmas Eve, you're booked? Are you kidding? Baltimore's not even a Jewish town. I mean, I could see if you were doing, Tel Aviv on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, yeah, Christmas Eve. They'll be rolling in the aisles.
Christmas Eve, if you're a Jew.
It's a Sunday night. What time's the show? 4 p.m.?
It's at a church. It's going to do well. No,
yeah, there's nothing on TV that night, Sunday night.
But no, it's good. If you're a Jew... Or what's the other ones? Muslims, Hindu,
I think you lost the Muslims a while ago.
Maybe not Muslim, but if you're a Jew or a Hindu or like the ones with the gardens, Baha'i, bisexual, yeah, that's what I meant. Come out Christmas Eve. It's a hot show.
Who's on?
Nothing else is going on that night. It's a hot show.
No, the NFL's over.
It's just me.
Christmas Eve is dead.
It's me and I think the club owner's coke addicted relative or something.
What is this, Magoobies?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Magoobies.
Yeah, I love Magoobies too. I'm excited. Yeah, it'll be good.
It's like a 400-seat arena. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. If this show happens, I will quit the podcast. Either way, actually, I will.
Should I have not done a door deal? 100% door deal?
No, it's gonna be great. Christmas Eve.
Come on out. RaananHertzberg.com. Raanan Comedy on Instagram. Get tickets. Obviously, apparently I just realized it's kind of desperate. There's going to be no one there. So if you're a Jew or you're a Christian who doesn't want to be with your family or whatever, just come out Baltimore Christmas Eve.
No, I think most people go out Christmas Eve.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do they?
That's a big
I don't know
night.
I don't know. I'm a Jew. Do they go out, right?
Oh, yeah. Christmas Eve, big night out. You go out, a lot of traffic Christmas Eve night. Sunday nights in general, big going out night.
You know what I was thinking the other day? I mean, I guess it's not that profound a thought, but people's relationship to holidays is all dependent on if they're closest to their family or not. Like for everyone who hates their family, Christmas probably sucks.
I suppose so. I mean, I hate my family, but I love it.
You love it? Yeah.
Yeah, I go be with them. You go, oh my God, this is crazy. You collect stuff to talk about. That's what family is really just a collection of things to talk about with your wife who you also hate. You sit there, you go, I hate him, I hate her, I hate him.
Oh,
and then you leave. Then you get in the car and you're like, okay, great. We don't have to hate each other today. We can talk about all those other people we hate more.
That's a great point. Because your wife... You can talk shit with friends about anyone, but your wife is really the only one you can talk shit about your family with,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Or your podcast.
Yeah.
Mindful Metal Jacket. Check it out.
But anyway.
The only podcast I really care about.
So let's talk the movie.
We're talking Rocky and Raging Bull. We've been teasing this for a long time. For about 5 years, we've been saying we're going to do this episode.
Your balls
you
about
still haven't watched the film.
I've seen it before, and I watched half. I had a thing last night, but...
What thing did you have?
The Stand after party.
Why not the party? I don't get it. What do you mean after party?
Or the Stand, whatever, the holiday party.
You keep saying after party.
Oh, yeah, the Stand, the party. I don't know. Yeah.
That's why I was confused. I wasn't sure if there was an extra thing.
No, just a party.
I got you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I rewatch, I've seen Rocky before. I know everyone loves the movie. I'm going to get shit on. I mean, look, I admit Stallone is charming. I'll say that.
Yes, he's amazing.
It's also the opposite of Good Will Hunting. Like Good Will Hunting, he makes himself a genius. Stallone actually writes himself as dumber than he is, which is interesting.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to get into the whole physics of filmmaking, but you understand he's not playing himself.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and Matt Damon's not a genius, but it's just interesting that they are playing some... I guess you get the sense that they're playing... It's a personal movie. You know what I mean?
Good Will Hunting, not nearly as much to me.
Yeah,
right. I mean, because Good Will Hunting, it's. I mean, I don't see it. Rocky, it feels like which is one of the many things that makes it so great, is it does feel like it is running parallel, Stallone and Rocky.
Yeah.
Where this is Stallone's shot, and he's trying to prove that he's not just another bum from the neighborhood.
Which is a little like Good Will Hunting, which I'm just like kind of like, trying to be something, achieve something,
I guess, but at the very end he is, but that's not the plot of the movie.
Right.
He's just a genius who's happy to live a shit life.
Right. I guess that's true. But like,
But maybe you're right.
What is Stallone's level of intelligence in the movie?
In the movie?
Is he
so
retarded?
call him Rocky.
Rocky.
There's Rocky and there's Stallone.
Is he retarded? He's not retarded.
He ain't retarded. He's a little shy. No, he's not retarded. He's got a lot of emotional intelligence, more than many of the other people in the movie.
Right.
He's just a little slow. He fucks things up a little bit. But he
He's a little
reads.
slow.
He's reading. He has trouble.
Yeah, he has trouble reading. He like slow.
But he's also been in like 80 fights. His record is like 50 and 20. So he's been in a lot of fights. He's been
when
beat
you
up.
see
Probably
him
has
just
CTE.
like running the joke beforehand to tell Talia, you feel like you're watching he's just like, all right, let me get the joke. It's cute. It's like sad, cute guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a little bit dumb.
He's a little bit dumb.
He's dumb and lovable. He's been punched in the face many, many, many times.
The thing I guess Philadelphia, it's fucking movies. People are always mean to like nice, retarded people in movies.
Yeah.
And I feel like in real life, you're kind of nice to those people.
Well, this is 1976, remember? We've been beaten into being nice.
That's true.
When we were a kid, we said retarded. I still say retarded. It's bad.
Yeah.
I think people were much meaner back then. Obviously, this is almost 50 years ago. And they look at Rocky as like a bum. He's like a dumb bum. Also, everyone's mean in the movie. They live in the shit time in the thing. He's the sweetest guy in the movie.
Yeah, everyone's just miserable.
Well, that's what makes it so charming and beautiful, is that Rocky is quite sweet to everybody.
Yeah.
And Gazzo, the most underrated character in the history of American cinema, is
good.
Tony Gazzo, is so kind and sweet to Rocky, this loan shark piece of shit.
He is really good. I liked him. The acting, you have to admit the acting is a little hit and miss. That little girl is like the worst actress I've ever seen in my life. Like, she's terrible.
I don't know. I just don't understand the... I don't think she's that terrible. I think she's like a whatever character. Screw you, creepo, she says with some fucking... which was supposed to be fuck you, but they were going to give it an R rating.
Oh, really?
They wanted her to say fuck you, creepo. And then the ratings wanted to make it R rated.
Maybe I am a creepo. Who am I to give advice?
Is that not beautiful?
That's a good line,
everything about Rocky is so relatable. Very few characters in the history of American cinema do I relate to more. Maybe Kevin McAllister.
So you relate to like Rocky?
How could you? This is the fundamental issue. How do you not relate to Rocky? I think this is a strange thing. This is what I think is fascinating about this film is I feel like, shockingly, somehow, you have never felt like a loser or less than.
I think that's it. I
think you have good parents. I think you have really good parents because everything Rocky goes through is exactly how I feel.
Really?
But you're like a little privileged boy.
Well, we've talked about this. Inspirational movies like that, Rudy and that, they like mean a lot to you.
Yeah.
And they actually don't, I don't relate to that, the inspirational movie. I relate to I guess it's a privileged place, but I relate to someone ruining their life in a movie. I don't know. Or to be sideways.
But these people have all ruined their lives.
Yeah.
That's what blows my mind about you not liking this film is because you're so into flawed characters, troubled characters, character. You want character and defect. This movie is one of the great depictions of that, and it's all the characters. Really, it's about four losers: Mickey, Paulie, Adrian, and Rocky. And Gazzo is the most successful at one with himself character, and he's a loan shark.
No,
these people are all losers who have beaten up their life, and one at a time, they're all looking for redemption, and it's so beautiful. Paulie, this alcoholic, this great fucking scene where they start fighting, and he's like, "I didn't get married because of you." How meaningful is that line where he's screaming at his sister, "I didn't get married because of you"?
No,
Which, of course,
those
is not why.
parts.
And then he's breaking down, and Rocky's about to hit him, and he says, "I can't haul meat anymore."
I like the Burt Young character a lot. I wish it was about him. I like the Burt Young character a lot. He's great, and I like the despair. I guess ultimately, though, there's a lot I like about the movie. I don't hate it. There's corny stuff, obviously. Is that a doo-wop gang in the beginning? What is that thing where they're just all around the trash can and they're sing?
Yeah, that's like homeless people that say. You never saw that?
No, I've never seen
What
that.
a life of privilege this man has led. Yeah, do take it back. Yeah, they're fucking. They hang out by the neighborhood. Yeah.
There's stuff about it I like. It's very real at times. I mean, some of it's real. The scene where Carl
Weathers,
decide
Apollo
for the fight.
Creed.
That is a badly done scene. You do have to admit that. It feels like a B movie.
I mean, I like the scene, but yeah, some of the performances aren't.
The
great.
promoter is quite. I just think. I guess the whole time. I mean, it's not like a terrible movie, but the whole time I'm watching, I'm just thinking about Raging Bull.
You heard it here first. Rocky. Winner of Best Picture, American Film Institute, 42nd greatest film of all time, beloved by everybody. Nick Griffin's favorite movie, Louis C.K.'s favorite movie, Gary Gulman's favorite movie, one of my favorite movies. Folks, it's not terrible.
I actually had a
Keep going.
You ever have an epiphany that you're like an extremely obnoxious person? Like I had that the other day. I said a line.
I haven't, but I'm so glad you have.
I had a line the other day I said at the stand, and I heard myself saying it. I'm like, I literally said, when someone was bringing up the podcast, and they brought up Hannah and her sisters, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I have some problems with it. And then I'm like, who the fuck am I to be like, I have some problems with it.
One of the great films of all time, absolutely. Yes.
But it's like an open micer being like, yeah, Chappelle just kind of sucks. It's like, yeah, but who are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with Rocky, which is crazy. Sorry, my friend Dan Bulger's right around the corner. I might have to go let him in. I feel bad. We'll pause.
Pause?
Yeah, let me pause.
Okay, all right.
Let's pause.
Yeah, but I think fundamentally, it's like, yeah, the inspirational story, I guess, never affects me that much.
But this is what's so weird. It frustrates me so much that you're breaking this down to like inspirational story. I mean, because any movie could be called an inspirational
but that is
story.
ultimately the message. The message is trying to be like, you can achieve your dreams. You can,
But this is not even achieving
can achieve their dreams,
But that's what Rocky is.
Yeah.
That's what everyone in this movie is. And that's what's so beautiful about this movie is it's all losers. Now, I feel like sometimes people also get fucked up because of the sequels throw off their sense of the film.
Right.
Because obviously every fucking sequel to Rocky is just an abomination. I mean, one of the great parts of the movie at the end is he says, there ain't going to be no rematch. And he says, I don't want a rematch. And then he yells it later at a reporter. What do you think of a rematch? There ain't going to be no rematch. And of course, 1 year later, whoa, Rocky 2. Here we go. Big rematch. And of course, Rocky's going to win and go on and
Does
be
he
the title.
win the other ones?
He wins everything. He wins for like years and years. But that's the point of the movie.
Is there any darkness in the later ones?
But that's the point of the movie. He's achieving the dream of just proving to himself that he's not a loser. He's not actually going out and winning a title or doing anything. He's going back to being a loser. He's got a little money. By the way, I looked it up. His purse was $150,000, which is the equivalent of $850,000 now.
Well, he gets that no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Well, so, already right away, the movie is kind of just amazing, isn't it? He just has, he's just rich now.
Yeah, but he still has to prove he's not a bum. Don't you see?
I feel like you get the money, you're not a bum.
You make me so sad. But also, I mean, don't you see the parallels of comedy here too? That it opens in this dingy, stinky room, and then he's just in the loot, and everyone's heckling him, and then the big shitty agent comes in and goes, "Hey, you won $65 minus 15 for this, and you get $27.50. Good fight. I'll see you in 2 weeks."
Right?
Don't you see? Don't you relate to this? The sweaty Jim, he gets replaced by the other guy. I dig your locker, man. Which, by the way, a great joke, which we've talked about, a not purpose joke. We know his locker's been taken because there's black women in it. He opens the locker, there's just a bunch of black women. It's like, whoa! And the whole audience is like, that's not Rocky's locker. No way, my Rocky's into black women.
Well, first I was like, oh, he's into black women. I guess I was like a little, but that is a funny thing, the idea that you can't even imagine he would be into black women. That's the reveal. Who took his locker?
Right. I mean, but I don't know.
Is Jig Clown a racist slur?
Of course, we have to bleep that.
Oh, shit.
What? Which also is beautiful. I mean, so many...
Don't bleep, bleep it, but I make it clear I didn't say the N-word. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I didn't say, I didn't know. I was looking it up. It said a clown from the 1400s. I don't know.
Well, clown is just clown.
Well, yeah, I know.
It's like if you said this
the other
N-word
thing is
clown.
the other thing is N-word?
Yeah, you're not familiar with this word?
I guess I've never heard it.
Short. There's an additional part.
What's the additional part?
A boo.
Oh,
The guy
okay.
from The Simpsons.
Oh, so
Yeah, you're from the South. What's going on here? I don't know. Who
that
are
guy
you?
in that Philadelphia bar is being quite racist.
Yes, there's some racist there, which again is another. I mean, like everything about this movie is so good and so beautiful and so touching. And granted, it's a very low budget film. The fight scene is horrific,
Yeah.
but you didn't make it that far. I know.
Well, I've seen it before. I guess also it's like, because I guess the whole time I'm thinking about Raging Bull. I know this is not a Raging Bull versus Rocky, right? There's no way you're
Raging
putting
Bull
them.
and Rocky. Well, no, I got to say they're two great films. I mean, obviously Raging Bull is the greater film, but Rocky is just so touching and so beautiful. They're very different kinds of films.
Yeah, they're very
obviously.
opposite. Like De Niro is very unlikable, and then Sylvester Stallone is so likable in the movie. You know?
Of course, yeah.
But I guess I like people being more. You know what it is?
They're not flawed enough.
Yes. Like I think Stallone is like kind of like in many ways he's a charming character, but he is kind of like he has a perfect soul in a way. He really does.
I know, but he feels like a loser.
I know, but
the feeling. You don't relate to this feeling of being like inept and you can't really quite do anything and his parents aren't really there and he's got these photos of himself as a child in his mirror. There's an Arrested Development there. And the scene in bed where he explains it all, he's like, and this is what's so touching and beautiful about the movie, where he says, all I want to do is go the distance so I can prove to myself, not to anybody else, so I can prove to myself, I will know, he says, I will know for the first time that I'm not just another bum from the neighborhood. Here's a guy who just has grown up in a situation where he just sees there is no upward mobility, you're a loser, and there's some part of him, somewhere deep inside of him thinks, maybe I'm not. Maybe, just maybe I'm not, but maybe I am. He's not trying to prove to his parents or to the audience or anybody else that he's not a bum. He's trying to prove to himself that he's not a bum.
I guess
for one time in his life.
I guess it's ultimately, and this is what's interesting, it's like a personal psychological thing where it's like you must have felt like that.
I feel like that now.
I'm like the opposite. I'm like
I know that's troubling.
Arrogant person who's like, maybe I am a loser. That's my thing. You know what I mean? I'm like the opposite.
You're like, if I can just bomb one show, I'll prove for the first time in my life that maybe I'm a piece of shit.
I act like I'm like, that's why I guess I like movies where like characters arrogant and they get humbled. You know what I mean? That's why I love Inside Llewyn Davis or Sideways. It's these people who like actually are kind of have asshole qualities. Sylvester Stallone, I mean, he is like perfect. It's a little like Forrest Gump. He's like perfect. And it's like, I know he has flaws, but not like, I like my characters to be a little asshole-ish. That's why I like Burt Young. I like Burt Young. He's great. He called his sister a whore like half the movie.
Yes, he took your pants down for a man.
He's like insane to his sister.
No, he is. And it's beautiful. And all these people are stuck. I guess this is just what I come from. This feeling of very blue-collar people that just feel completely stuck.
Yeah.
And it's all very incestual where they blame each other. I never got married because of you. Yeah, well, you were so mean. You made me feel like a fucking loser.
Right,
and Rocky makes her feel less like a loser. And it makes Rocky feel less like a loser. To me, it's like there's never been a more relatable film. And then on top of that, it has maybe the best score in the history of fucking cinema. It's amazing.
It's an inspirational score.
It's not. I mean, when he's at the first training session, I mean, one of the great shots of all time is at Philadelphia City Hall there, whatever that building is, right by Chestnut Street, and the newspaper truck is pulling away with that green light and Rocky jogging. Do you not connect with that scene where he's trying to get into shape and he's barely jogging and making up the steps
I've never
at
connected
sunrise?
with someone trying to get into shape.
But the feeling, I mean, that reminds me of like in comedy, you're like, I'm going to write today. Here we go. I'm going to Starbucks. I'm going to write. And you write for 10 minutes. You got nothing. And you just pack up your notebook and go, I suck.
I mean, this has been a major conflict with movies with us because, you know, you love Rudy. I'm not.
Well, Rudy, you keep saying Rudy. Rudy in this movie, I think they might have the same director, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I'm thinking of a different. I think maybe, I'll figure that out. But no, it's a different director. But Rudy is not anywhere near the level of Rocky. Rudy is fun, and it's a fun movie, and I do love it. but it's not a cinematic accomplishment like Rocky is.
I guess I like movies ultimately where it's a little bit of a, and maybe this is a personal thing and maybe this has to do with me. I like movies where it's a bit of a challenge to like the main character, which I guess is personal because it's like a challenge to like me.
You better believe it.
It's like there's some obstacles. So that's what I relate to. It's all personal. That's what I relate to.
But can't you enjoy a movie that you don't relate to the main character? You relate to Raging Bull? Like you watch Jake LaMotta and you're like, this is like me.
I relate to the idea of pushing people away. Yeah, I do relate to that quite a bit.
Punching women and fucking underage girls and
well, I mean, not that part, but verbal bully, and like I don't know. I relate to pushing people away.
Let me help you out. You are closer to Rocky Balboa than you are to Jake LaMotta. For the love of God, please see that. I mean, this is wild.
I guess, like, to me, I don't know. It's all personal. Like, to me, I always go back to this, but the moment I loved Inside Llewyn Davis is when he's asking her boyfriend for money to pay for an abortion for her, who he's cheating on. And to me, it's like, those are the moments. I love a movie when people are like a piece of shit, but you can still relate to them. I need a little scumminess.
Of course, but so you can't
Stallone doesn't
relate
really
at all?
have that.
I mean, so what about when you did Late Night for the first time or shot a special? What were you feeling?
Unhappy.
You didn't feel like I did it.
No.
Really?
No, I mean, maybe
You never felt like when you started doing comedy, you didn't think like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I have this in me, but I'm going to try.
honestly, I thought I was kind of like slumming it with comedy. I wanted to be a great like American novelist.
Okay, but so even that should be relatable. He's slumming it. He's fighting in these shit dive bar. Even more so, you just made my point. He's fighting Spider Rico in a fucking gymnasium for $20.
When I did when I do late nights afterwards, I'm not like I did it. I'm like that was bad, right? That's my thought. You're not like that.
Of course I'm like that because I feel like a loser.
Right.
I feel like I'm not valuable or worth anything. Like Rocky.
Are you saying I'm not
like
allowed?
Paulie, like Mickey.
Right.
I mean, how good did you make it to the scene where Mickey comes and pleads to be his manager?
Yeah, I've seen the movie a couple of times. Yeah.
Okay. Because you came in saying I haven't seen the movie. I mean, do you not connect with that scene? First of all, also there's hilarious jokes in there. I mean, one of the great moments, which Louis pointed out to me first, is that Mickey's making his big spiel to be his manager, and he goes, "I want to be a manager." You follow that? Like he stops. He's like, "Are you understanding what's going on here?" But that is so beautiful. And then, of course, this incredible moment where Rocky's yelling at him and taking out all this thing. It stinks in here. My house stinks. And Mickey's just defeated because he's ruined his life. And then that beautiful shot, which is such a beautiful choice. And I don't know if it was because they were restricted because of money, where they just shoot it down the long street. And Mickey makes it all the way down into the lamplight. And first he reacts like Rocky's going to attack him because Rocky jogs after him after he's been screaming at him. And he kind of reacts. And then perfectly, we don't hear what they say. Rocky puts his arm around him because he's a sweet man, and they shake hands, and the train perfectly goes by. I don't know how they time that. I mean, this is like some of the great cinematic accomplishments in American history.
Yeah, I guess I just don't. The nature of like Stallone's character of just like, I guess I like characters who kind of do like have asshole qualities that push people away, and he is really just kind of like a good guy.
Yes.
So then I'm like, I don't know. I guess I don't relate.
What about
to
Dumb
good
and Dumber?
guys.
You like Dumb and Dumber?
Well, that's like a comedy, yeah.
All right.
But I don't know. To me, Raging Bull is like the exact opposite. He's like just the worst person ever. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And sometimes I actually be honest. I feel like Raging Bull. I have trouble almost like he's so awful. Sometimes I'm like, I feel I don't connect to it. You know what I mean? It's like the exact opposite. You know what I mean? But like I don't know. I guess I just the what a movie's message is ultimately like a character feeling like he's not a loser. I don't know. I just don't. Yeah,
this is why you can't connect with the film. You can't connect with the film if you're not exactly like the character. I don't get it because I love Raging Bull and I love Rocky. They're two of my favorite movies of all time.
I guess I ultimately think Rocky, and you're gonna hate me, I think it's ultimately pandering to this like comforting illusion people have. You know what I mean? I guess that's what I think it is ultimately.
What illusion? Of
like, if I just work really hard, I can, get to the, because at the end of the day, it's like that thing just fell into his, like, to me, you know what it is? And I know he loses at the end, but ultimately the fact that he could stay in for that much is ultimately a huge victory. You know what I mean?
Of course.
And a crazy victory. You know what I mean?
Which really happened. Chuck
Wepner. I guess I ultimately, like, what I want to see in movies is people kind of fail at their dreams and still figure out a way to, like, move on. That's where I like Sideways. To me, that's what I relate to more. Or like Raging Bull, where he like there's this slight redemptive moment at the end, but after he's lost everything. To me, that's like that affects me more spiritually. The idea of someone like losing everything and seeing that and like and pushing people away and like I relate more to that,
which is fine, but that means you can't enjoy at all a movie that doesn't have exactly that.
No, I guess I just ultimately think Rocky is playing on this like this inspirational kind of thing that I just don't.
But it's real. You can do it.
What do you mean?
What Rocky did, what you did, what I did, you can do it.
Oh, just like achieve something?
Most people don't achieve things because they never try. And that's
Right.
what Rocky hasn't done up until this moment.
I guess I think like for me, I want to see a movie where someone tries really hard and fails.
Yeah, I guess
and then
that's
have to realize like the trying the hard was the part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
It
But,
is a bit. I mean, I know that it happened real, but it is like a bit of a miracle. The movie, isn't it? Like kind of what happened.
well, it's Capra-esque,
Yeah.
of course, and it has a feeling of It's a Wonderful Life and all these other.
Though It's a Wonderful Life is actually extremely dark, and him like kind of failing at everything and just finding gratitude. You know what I
It
mean?
is, but this movie's quite dark. Also, is it not?
It is dark.
You're
There are
busted.
dark-
He's screaming at his sister. They
And I
hate
like
each
the-
other.
I like those parts a lot.
Rocky is alone. He's sleeping on a fucking dirty, stinky
No, there
mattress.
are dark stuff, but
And he tries to give advice, and she's like, "Fuck you." Nobody respects Rocky.
right. But the movie is wanting you to be on his side at all times. That's I guess I like a movie where you just kind of have conflicting feelings for the characters.
I
You don't have
understand.
conflicting feelings for him. You love him.
Yes,
You
I love him.
in every moment. I like a little,
But I also just love a main character of a movie. I love Llewyn Davis. He's an asshole, but I'm
Yeah.
loving him. Not unlike you.
well, yeah, I guess I like, I mean, obviously I relate to, it's kind of funny what we relate to. You're like, I love people who come from a poor neighborhood who like work hard to achieve something, and I'm like, I love movies about assholes who push people away.
Yeah. Yeah,
I guess that's ultimately like, I don't know.
But you're making it seem like I don't also love those
I
movies.
know.
That's what's frustrating is I also
You do.
love Llewyn Davis and Sideways. Those are also two of
I
my
guess
favorite movies of all time.
The inspirational achieving your dream kind of thing, it just doesn't, I don't know, for whatever reason,
I know,
even though
but
there
it's
is darkness in Rocky, even though there is darkness, at its core, it is not really dark. At its core, it's saying if you work hard, you can achieve the impossible.
I know,
I'm
but-
like, it does nothing for me. I want to see $1 Million Baby. She works hard,
Oh, I hate
and
that
then she
fucking
breaks her
movie.
neck. That's what's beautiful to me.
I know, but it's so stupid. Isn't there ghosts in that movie?
No, what?
Yeah, there is.
No, there's not. $1 Million Baby?
Yeah, isn't there a fake character like Morgan Freeman doesn't actually exist?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Am I crazy? Isn't there something
crazy.
$1 Million Baby? What movie am I thinking of?
Fight Club? I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're thinking of.
Isn't there a thing where it's like somebody was dead the whole time or
Sixth
some kind of
Sense?
ghost? No, I thought $1 Million Baby has like a.
The fuck are you
look up
talking
$1 Million
about?
Baby. Isn't there a angle of some kind of? Is Morgan Freeman? What's his deal? He's real life.
He's
a guy?
real. He's a real black man.
He's a trainer. What am I thinking of? Miracle on 34th Street.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
No, I hated that fucking movie.
To me, that's life, you know?
I guess. I mean, I guess there's just no, but you don't see the cinematography as great. These performances
Actually,
as
can we talk
great.
about that? I find the camera to often be in a place I don't like. Like it's a lot of uphill shot, like uphill looking at his chin. I don't understand the motivation for a lot of the shots.
Yeah, because you texted me this last night, and I think it's so crazy because I'm like, I like studied it in film school. Like the scene where he's courting Talia Shire, Adrian, is like an oft-studied scene in cinematography.
I find the camera work, like a lot of times it'll be like him behind the counter, it'll be like a wide shot, and then it'll kind of cut to like a closer shot of him, but not from a different angle. So it's like a little jarring. You know what I mean? Like, you know how you want to cut from like, the opposite angle or something. It just kind of cuts in closer. It's like I found the camera work to be kind of like, I don't know, like just kind of bad. And a lot of camera,
Yeah, it's bad.
A lot of the shots were like
Bad cinematography.
A lot of
in
the shots
Rocky,
were looking up,
famously.
and
Well,
it-
some of it, I don't know which part you're talking about, but some of it is it's a low budget movie, so they
Yeah.
might have had to work around stuff, which is another beautiful thing. It's a very low budget.
I mean, I
movie.
love that it's 35 millimeter.
And by the way,
Or
also,
whatever.
it's funny that you're like, well, I hate these movies of these guys that are likable and they can just do it one time. Like is the reality of the movie also.
Right.
Is like Rocky refusing to let anyone else play the part. I mean, and then Rocky making it. Sylvester Stallone is. I don't know if I said it right. Stallone refusing to let anyone else play the part. Stallone making this movie work on a shoestring budget. I mean, and the soundtrack, by the way, the score is like inspirational. It's so sparse and beautiful when he's training.
You're not talking about Eye of the Tiger, right? Or are you? Or what's the song?
That came years later.
What's the song?
This is what's happening. See, you just tipped your hand. This is exactly what's happening. And I knew it. I alluded to it earlier.
I'm calling it the wrong thing.
Gonna fly now?
When he's running up the steps. What's
Gonna
that?
Fly now.
Okay, I thought that was called Eye of the Tiger.
No, Eye of the Tiger is a pop rock song by Survivor, which kicks ass.
But I know this is, yeah.
But I know. See, so now I know, and I suspected it earlier, you're allowing the franchise and all these sequels to muddy up your fucking head.
I'm not.
Because if this was just came out on its own as like a fucking, it's not independent, but low budget, never heard of this filmmaker, never heard of this star, you'd be like, oh my God, I just saw this art house movie and it's so sparse and beautiful.
No, because it's still, at the end of the day, it is like, behind the darkness of the grittiness, the message is fucking cornball shit to me. It's cornball shit. Does anyone believe that? Comment if you agree with me at all. I feel like I'm just going to get it.
Oh, plenty of people will agree with you. But it's not cornball shit. This is so many people's story.
Defeating like the heavyweight champion?
They didn't defeat him.
Or getting close to?
First of all,
I know he didn't
it really
him,
happened.
You do have to admit.
It really happened.
Okay, that's fine, but that's not...
The story is about someone that feels like an inept loser who can't accomplish anything, living in squalor, alone, a lonely, sad man who somehow can rise up and accomplish one little thing.
You know what it is?
And make himself feel justified, make him feel enough for one day.
I find it uncomfortable when someone makes a movie. I know it's not him exactly, but I find it uncomfortable when someone makes a movie where they want the audience to like root for them. I guess I find that uncomfortable. That's what it is. I'm not a rooting for a guy. You know what I mean? I just don't. I'm not into that.
So what are you're not?
Maybe it's a sports thing.
What about the ending of Sideways? Are you pissed? Are you sad that he makes it? That he goes out there and she claims and says I like you, and then he rings the doorbell?
To me, it's like wisdom and acceptance. You know what I mean? I'm not rooting for him. I'm just loving that he's like has acceptance. Maybe I'm rooting for him a little, but it's so earned. This movie, the whole time, you're just rooting for him. I'm not into rooting. I'm not into Rudy. I'm not into rooting. I just don't like that feeling. Maybe it's because I'm not into sports. I want to watch a character and like feel his pain and connect. And I get it, but I don't want to.
I can't believe you don't feel Rocky's pain. I just can't believe it.
I guess the movie's trying too hard to make me feel it. And then I run away from it. It's like root for him the whole time. It is a rooting. I guess I don't like rooting for movies.
Yeah,
you know?
You don't like rooting. I don't
like rooting. I'm not a rooter.
I'm disappointing. I feel bad that you're missing out on the joy of this film. It's so beautiful. It's so touching. It's so sparse and so sad. And it's like this slow, touching movie. This man who's just hates himself. I just love a person that hates himself. But you don't hate yourself, and you never have.
I mean, I hate myself. But I also have shit qualities, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's talk about Raging Bull.
Let's get to Raging Bull for the love of God.
Raging Bull to me is like, I mean, and I hate to compare, I guess we are, but like, and look, Scorsese's a genius. It's hard to like.
Oh, jeez.
But like, the minute you watch Rocky and the camera's like outside the ring looking in at them far away, and then you just immediately remember how like Raging Bull, every fight, you're just in their fucking head. You know what I mean? It's so subjective. It is like hard to like compare the two because like Raging Bull was the first movie where he went in the ring to show the experience inside the ring, and it's like amazing, you know?
It is, but let me just go back. First of all, you just criticized Rocky for just having a close-up of his face, and now you're so pumped that we're inside the ring in the face.
Well, no. I'm saying the shot of them boxing at the beginning is just far away, you know what I mean, from the audience. It just, you know what I mean?
Because the boxing doesn't matter
yeah.
in Rocky. And the boxing, in fact, in the climax, the final fight, is the worst part of the movie by far. Also, the cinematography, real quick, shooting Adrian through the birdcage is so beautiful. The shot of her caged up, another great choice, great moment. But back to Raging Bull, of course. But yes, it is fun fact. You read the fact. That's great.
Well,
First
no,
camera in the ring, yes.
I'm just saying, like, it captures a subjective experience in this, like, almost impressionistic experience of what it's like to be fighting. And it's just so, like, you know,
animalistic.
It's just an incredible. But what's interesting is like, I get that Rocky's not about boxing, but the boxing matches are about boxing, literally. You know what I mean? With Raging Bull, it's all fairly metaphorical the whole time. You know what I mean?
Well,
which is interesting.
First, also they use animal noises during those fight scenes, like horses and pigs or some shit. But yes, I mean Raging Bull. I use this metaphor thing all the time. If they threw a bunch of movies in a bucket and they said you got to pick one out and then you got to make an argument that this is the best movie of all time, I reach in there, I pull out Raging Bull. I'm like, yes.
I mean,
great. I got one.
Just in terms of score, like I get the Rocky score is super catchy, but it is a dun dun dun. How does
so
it go?
passive aggressive.
How does it go? How does it go?
Bum, 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 bum,
Yeah, it's like a
bum.
rooting. It's like a rooting.
That one part of the score. Yes.
Yes, it's like a yeah. But the song from Raging Bull, which I know is not written for the movie, is like the most beautiful song of all time. It's like this spiritual, like there is some sense of redemption in that song, but it's also just like this tragic song. That song to me, like it kills me. I mean, it's one of the most beautiful songs. I forget what it's called. It's one of the. I think it's from an opera. Actually, it's one of the most beautiful.
Gonna run now.
What? It's one of the most beautiful songs ever. I mean, like that opening shot of him in the ring with that song.
Yeah.
I'm like dying just right away.
No, the whole opening sequence is amazing. The performances are great. It's De Niro's best performance. It's arguably the best performance by any actor ever.
And I think Pesci's. I think that's Pesci's like outside of Casino. I like him in that better than Goodfellas. I love him in fucking Raging Bull.
Oh yeah, no, it's his best.
He is like when you watch him in that, you see him like scratching his face or doing shit that is just so in the moment. You know what I mean? He is so present.
He's incredible, and then how they casted him is incredible.
How's that?
Too, because De Niro knew him and was like, "We got to get this guy." And Pesci had basically retired at that point. He had done some
He's
theater
always like
acting.
retiring and refusing to be in movies.
Well, so then De Niro, who had become a big movie star
Yeah.
at this point, a huge movie star, was we got to get Pesci. He's like, I promise this guy, Joe Pesci, I know this guy. We were in some theater group. We're gay, whatever. And then they reached out to Pesci and they were like, hey, Robert De Niro's looking for you. And Pesci did like the classic, like, ha, fuck you. And like hung up the phone. Like he kept being like, get out of here. Yeah.
Even though he knew him, huh?
Yeah. Cause he was just like, well, at that point he's like an Oscar winner and the biggest guy in the world.
He probably has asshole friends who call him and be like, hey, it's De Niro. Right. Fuck you, loser.
Hey, you talking to me? Hey. But anyways.
You're never going to make it.
And Frank Vincent is fucking amazing in the movie. And Kathy Moriarty is amazing in the movie.
The performance between Joe Pesci and De Niro is so interesting because Joe Pesci is so present in the world. It's like he's like a practical in the world guy. And De Niro is always daydreaming. He's always like kind of detached, distant, you know what I mean? He's always, like he can't really be in the present. For any of it. So that two acting styles are just incredible to watch, Well,
he's just too busy being obsessed. And I watched the movie with a while ago, so I can't remember all the fun facts, but with Thelma Schoonmaker, however you say her name, the editor. And the scene, which is one of the best scenes in the movie, of course, is like when we talk about his hands. My hands are too small. I'm going to hit you with a table.
Yeah.
And he goes, your cuts are open and everything. She said that is the most difficult scene she's ever edited in her whole career because they improvised everything. So there's nothing matching the other two. But they just went on for hours and hours doing that.
But also what is so incredible about that movie is that there's two film styles in that movie. You have the kind of gritty, just showing the world as it is, fly on the wall, in the apartment, all this shit. And then you have this very artistic, stylized boxing fights. So you're essentially watching two styles of movies back and forth, this kind of like dreamlike, very stylized, poetic fights, and then very fly on the wall, like capturing reality. So you get to experience different types of filmmaking in the movie, which is, interesting to watch,
Right, and there's all these great, slow motion moments of just showing his obsession, like this completely obsessive person.
Well, that's what to me, like Scorsese does, like, what Hitchcock brought to cinema, which is trying to capture people's subjective experiences on film, not trying to capture them from like just purely like far away, but like just really trying to capture it like, how did that experience actually feel to someone, and how do we capture that? Scorsese does that so much in the movie of really trying to cinematically show you how something feels.
Yes.
And it is hit him at his height. It's like an incredible, it's an incredible thing to watch. I mean, like I'll be honest, Raging Bull is a tough movie because De Niro even though I say I like assholes, like I mean assholes like inside Llewyn Davis who are kind of like lovable. De Niro is not even like charming. You know what I mean?
No, but he's fun and funny. I mean, I love him. I love watching him. I mean, his ignorance is entertaining.
Right.
I mean, why you put? I mean, the great moment where he starts fucking smashing the thing and all the plates fall, and he goes, "Well, you put the plates where they fall down." I mean, that to me sums up the whole character and the whole movie. Is that this guy's not taking the blame for anything. He's literally smashing a fucking belt with him. And then the beautiful set, one of the saddest moments in any movie ever, when he shows up to the fucking guy with the jewels from the belt. And he's like, no, this is no good. I want the belt. And he's like, he's now ruined the most important thing in his life, and it doesn't even work out.
I mean, it's the best rock bottom.
And him on the payphone with his stomach hanging out.
It's the best rock bottom in any fucking movie. It's also, we've probably talked about it. It's hilarious that like, all these layers of rock bottom, and then the final one is him just becoming a stand-up comedian. Like that's the rock. Like he fucks a child, and then he goes to jail, and then to really make it as sad as possible, he starts doing comedy.
Which that scene is shot at Jimmy's Corner, one of the great bars in America.
I remember
still
that
there
near Times Square, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
One
I
of
used
the
to
great
go there.
bars.
Yeah,
Still there, boxing bar.
Wait, that's where he does the stand-up.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And he goes, "Fuck you," and the horse you rode in on, and the whole cavalry behind you.
Stand-up was very different back then. It seemed to be a lot of rhyming stuff and saying Shakespeare lines.
Fun fact: the song they play at the introduction to the stand-up scene is the same song in Back to the Future.
Really? It's also really funny that De Niro seems to not have any attempt at making jokes at all in the movie. Or any interest, and then just becomes a stand-up comedian.
No, he's making jokes.
Is he?
Yeah. I guess once he's doing comedy, he starts making all the jokes. But he's fucking. That movie's the best. It's the fucking best movie.
Well,
ever.
it's just like. It's like Scorsese really does. I think Scorsese is like very religious in some sense, where he like sees people. He go in his head. He's like, everyone has a soul. Mm-hmm. And even this piece of shit fucking asshole has a soul, but let's try to find it. You know what I mean? And let's make it as hard as possible to find it, but let's find it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so much to say. Oh, also one of the great performances is I don't know. I forget how you say his name, but fucking Chief from Cheers, Nick Castellanos.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you ever watch Cheers?
Is this the guy,
the mob boss?
Yeah.
The guy.
Who's he in Cheers?
He's Coach.
Oh yeah.
You not put that together?
No, I never.
No, he's so fucking good. What is it? All the short answers? Yes, no, yes, no. He's not without us. He's not getting his title shot. Not without us, he ain't. I mean, he's amazing in that scene. And
Scorsese's always just.
I had his head in the door, smacking him around.
Scorsese's just always the best with actors. It's just like
he gets the best performance. I say it all the time. He gets the best performance out of actors. It's amazing how good. Even that fucking guy that sucks in The Sopranos is great in Goodfellas, even though he barely has any lines.
Which one?
Hey, T, how karate chopping, doing this. Whoa. That fucking nitwit.
Yeah, people, I've said this about Scorsese, like, people, like, everyone talks about shots and everything, but not enough people talk about, like, the improvisation he always seems to use in movies that makes, like, the most natural acting.
No, he truly gets the best performances out of all these people, and I don't know what else to say about that movie, but it's a fucking masterpiece, and hilarious. I mean, so many funny, the whole thing of, like, yeah, you're gonna get your toe shot if he doesn't die. That's perfect. The thing of like just saying a very innocuous thing that classic thing of you just say something to somebody and all of a sudden you're in this big. What do you mean? Was he sick?
Yeah.
No, he's not sick. I'm saying, well, why did you say he's gonna die? What does it matter? He's gonna have a heart attack, and that whole thing, and it just it doesn't. That scene doesn't end.
Yeah.
What
time is it, by the way? Sorry.
Oh, God. 12:36.
Okay, I gotta go. Actually, I got my dentist appointment.
Oh, jeez. Where's your dentist?
It's in Steinway.
Oh, okay. Steinway Dental.
Yeah. You go there?
I used to. I got the best dentist ever, right down the street now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's all women. They're so nice. They're amazing.
I should go to that.
Yeah, it's by far. It's a 5-minute walk.
Oh fuck! Yeah.
By far the best dentist I've ever been to.
Yeah. Well, we should wrap it up. I'm
end.
sorry. I feel bad. Well, this was a good episode, right?
Yeah, I feel like we just started, but
we've been doing an hour, haven't we?
yeah, 48 minutes. All right.
But yeah, Raging Bull masterpiece. Rocky,
Raging Bull's the best. Rocky's
pandering,
also the best.
sentimental, but has some good moments.
Sentimental hogwash.
What's that?
It was a bad impression of Potter from It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, yeah. Sentimental hog. Is that who I am?
Yeah, I don't know what you are. I don't know who you are, but it's disappointing. All right, I think Dan Bulge is upstairs.
Right.
I got some dates coming up myself. Check out. We'll go to fucking Punch Up Live. Going over the Punch Up Live. I got some exclusive stuff on their new crowd work video. Type your email in. Send me your email. I'll email you when I come to town. And all my dates are on there. You can get all your tickets. I got Pittsburgh,
Oh, nice.
Raleigh, Tacoma. I think I might move to Tacoma.
It is great.
Tacoma, January 11th to the 13th. Bunch of other shit up there. And, L.A., May 2nd. Part of the Netflix. I got to sell this thing out. I got to sell it out fast. It feels like a Netflix audition, this fucking thing. Big theater, small theater, whatever. Luke Monis will be there. And make sure you subscribe to this and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's CB in Baltimore this Christmas Eve. Also, I'll be at Mohegan Sun, December 28th through 30th.
And then Super Bowl Sunday. I'm doing Beacon Theater. Super Bowl Sunday. It's a 6 p.m. show.
All right, thank you all so much. We'll be back.
Rocky, pursue your dreams.
Joe likes Scorsese, and Raanan is Jewy. It's Joe and Raanan talk movies.